ॐ शुक्लां भरतरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजम्। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிருக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தகே जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्री पार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन्। हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषनभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयम्। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरधाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതേനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പീടേണ്ട തോറും രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കുന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, so we'll do a review of 27 and 28 today first. Let's see. Padmaja, Ramesh, can you do one? And then Harini, maybe you can do one.
सप्तविंशं दशकम् अमृतमथने कूर्मावतार वर्णनम्। दुर्वासासुरवनिताप्तदिव्यमाल्यं शक्राय स्वयमुपदाय तत्र भूयः नागेन्द्रप्रतिमृदिते शशाप शक्रम् काक्षान्तिस्त्वदितरदेवतां शजानाम् शापेन प्रतितजरेथ निर्जरेन्द्रे देवेष्वप्यसुरजितेषु निष्प्रभेषु शर्वात्याः कमलजमेत्य सर्वदेवा निर्वाणप्रभवसमं भवन्तमापुः ब्रह्माद्यै महिमाचिरं तदानीं प्रादुष्यन् वरदपुरः परेण धाम्ना हे देवादिदितकुलैर्विधाय सन्धिं पीयूषं परिमथतेति पर्यशास्त्वम्.
Padmaja, the first line, second word is stuta. I think you said stutita by mistake. Stuta mahima.
Okay, stuta mahima. Okay. सन्धानं कृतवति दानवैसुरौघे मन्थानं नयति मदेन मन्दराद्रिं भ्रष्टेऽस्मिन् बदरमिवोद्वहन् खगेन्द्रे सद्यस्त्वं विनिहितवान् पयः पयोधौ आधाय द्रुतमथ वासुकिम्बरत्राम् पाथोधौ विनिहित सर्वबीजजाले प्रारब्धे मथन विधौ सुरासुरैस्तैः व्याजात्वं भुजकमुखे करोऽसुरारीन् क्षुब्धाद्रौ क्षुभिधजलोदरे तदानीं दुग्धाब्धौ गुरुतरभारतो निमग्ने देवेषु व्यथिततमेषु तत्प्रियैषी प्राणैषीः कमठतनुं कठोरपृष्ठां वज्रातिस्थिरतरकर्परेण विष्णो विस्तारात् परिगतलक्षयोजनेन अम्भोदेः कुहरगतेन वर्ष्मणा त्वं निर्मग्नं क्षितिधरनारथम् उन्निनेथ.
Kshitidharanatham. There's no ra there. Kshitidharanatham.
Okay, क्षितिधरनाथम् उन्निनेथ.
Yeah.
उन्मग्ने झटिति तदाधराधरेन्द्रे निर्मेथुर्दृढमिह सम्मदेन सर्वे आविश्य द्विदय गणेऽपि सर्पराजे वैवश्यं परिशमयन्न विवृधस्तान् उद्दाम भ्रमणजवोन्नमद्गिरीन्द्रन्यस्तैगस्थिरतर हस्तपङ्कजं त्वाम् अभ्रान्ते विधिगिरिशातयः प्रमोदात् उद्भ्रान्ता नुनुवुरुपात्तपुष्पवर्षाः दैत्यौघे भुजगमुखानिलेन तप्ते तेनैव त्रिदशकुलेऽपि किञ्चिदार्थे कारुण्यात् तव किल देववारिवाहाः प्रावर्षन्नमरगणान्न दैत्यसङ्घान् उद्भ्राम्यद्बहुतिमिनक्रचक्रवाले तत्राब्धौ चिरमथितेऽपि निर्विकारे एकस्त्वं करयुगकृष्टसर्पराजः सम्राजन् पवनपुरेश पाहि रोगात्. कृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः. दशकं 28 लक्ष्मी स्वयंवर वर्णनम्. गरलं तरलानलं पुरस्तात् जलधेरुद्विजगालकालकूटम् अमरस्तुतिवादमोदनिघ्नो गिरिशस्तन्निपपो भवत्प्रियार्थम् विमथस्तु सुरासुरेषु जातासुरभिस्तामृषिषु न्यदास्त्रिधामन् हयरत्नमभूतदेवरत्नम् द्युतरुश्चाप्सरससुरेषु तानि जगदीश भवत्परा तदानीं कमनीया कमला बभूव देवी अमलामवलोक्य यां विलोलः सकलोऽपि स्पृहयां बभूव लोकः त्वयि दत्तहृदे तदैव देव्यै त्रिदशेन्द्रो मणिपीठिकां व्यतारीत् सकलोपहृताभिषेचनीयैः ऋषयस्तां श्रुतिगीर्भिरभ्यषिञ्चन् अभिषेकजलानुपातिमुग्धत्वत्पादाङ्गै त्वदपाङ्गैरवभूषिताङ्गवल्लीं मणिकुण्डलपीतचेलहारप्रमुखैस्ताममराब्दयोन्भूषन् वरणस्रजमातभृङ्गनादां ददती सा कुचकुम्भमन्दयाना पदशिञ्जितमञ्जुनूपुरा त्वां कलितव्रीलविलासमाससादा गिरिशद्रुहिणादिसर्वदेवान् गुणभाजोऽप्यविमुक्तदोषलेशान् अवमृश्य सदैव सर्वरम्ये निहिता त्वय्यनयापि दिव्यमाला उरसा तरसा ममानिथैनां भुवनानां जननीमनन्यभावां त्वदुरो विलसत्तदीक्षणश्रीपरिवृष्ट्या परिपुष्टमास विश्वम् अतिमोहनविभ्रमा तदानीं मदयन्ती खलु वारुणी निरागात् तमसः पदवीमदास्त्वमेनाम् अतिसम्माननया महासुरेभ्यः तरुणाम्बुदसुन्दरस्तदा त्वं ननु धन्वन्तरिरुत्थितोऽम्बुरेशेः अमृतं कलशे वहन् कराभ्याम् अखिलार्तिं हर मारुतालयेश. श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
So we'll continue with 29. I think I have to say the meaning of the last two stanzas of 28. So we'll get started. So first one, Krishnanji, you can be a student, and Padmaja Garu, can you be a student? I know you're in Hyderabad, but can you? Okay. So if she's not able to, then Shubha Hari, you can be a student. Okay. So we saw in the last, saw 27, which was kind of the beginning of, the Kurmavataram, everything that had to happen, how Narayana had to come and help on multiple fronts. First to lift the Mandara mountain, then it was, coming down, then he had to come in the form of a tortoise, support from the bottom, then it was going up, then come and put his hand, bring it down. Then, then he has to then get into each of them to energize them. Then he had to himself go and hold both ends of Vasuki and start churning. So we saw all of that. And then the 28th chapter, we saw all the different things that started coming, right? From the Uchchai, Shravas, Airavata, all these things. And then Mahalakshmi comes. And then the Mahalakshmi Swayamvaram was happening. So that's kind of where we ended in 8. So first is coming Shri, which is prosperity, which is Mahalakshmi. Then the next thing that's going to come is the opposite of Shri, right? So now what is in the Varuni? That's the kind of the goddess of liquor, and what it really means is it's the embodiment of all the sins. So all the bad things that are going to be happening. So when you consume good things happen. When you consume bad things are going to happen. So when you have Shri by your side, it's all prosperity. If you have Varuni by your side, it's all going to be negativity. So that is coming. So because Shri went to Narayana, so this when Varuni is coming, so Bali Maharaja, all the Asuras are eagerly waiting. So Vishnu says, please, you guys all go ahead and take it. So Ati Sammananaya, when you give something to somebody, they don't accept it much. But when you give it with a lot of respect, then they feel it is something very important. So the Varuni is given with a lot of respect to the Asuras, saying it's very important. So the Asuras end up taking it. they're still churning. Nothing is coming out, right? The Amritam has still not come out, which is why everybody has been waiting patiently. So finally, as they continue doing this after this Varuni, then there's one personality is coming out of the ocean. So beautiful, handsome person, because it's a male. It's a handsome male who's coming out, very strongly built, very dark in color, and he has all the lakshanams of being a god, which means that typically they have, like, it's available, it's visible in the padam, right? All the indications, marks are all there. And like I said, he was like, it is said like he's like black in color. He was dressed in pitambaram, yellow garment still, and he had a kalasham in his hand, which was the pot of nectar, which is Dhanvantari. So that's where Nanu Dhanvantari. So Lord Dhanvantari is coming from this ocean right now, bringing the pot of nectar, which everybody has been anxiously waiting for. That's where that Dashakam comes to an end. And now we'll start with 29. So 29 is Dev. I'll read what is in my title. Some books may have different titles. Devanam Amrutopa Labdhi Prakara Varnanam and Mohini Avataram. Okay, so those are the two things which are happening in 29. Someone. उद्गच्छतस्तव करादमृतं हरत्सु दैत्येषु तान् शरणाननुनीय देवान् सद्यस्तिरोधदितदेव भवत्प्रभावात् उद्यत्स्वयूत्य कलहादितिजा बभूवुः. So the moment that pot of nectar comes, which everybody has been actively waiting for, the demigod, the Asura saw that the nectar pot has come. And what do? They immediately go, they snatch that content, that kalasham, and start running away, right? They just take it by force because they are worried, who is this going to go to, right? And that's the thing they've all been fighting for. So when they do that, the devas are, like, of course, disappointed because the pot of nectar is gone. But what do? They resort to you, O Narayana, and tell that you are the one who has to help out, right? So Bhagavan says, don't worry. With my Maya, I'm going to now do something. You just follow along, right? What is happening. And first, what he does is anytime you get a possession of something so valuable, there is always going to be a fight, which is what is initially happening. So there's a fight that is happening with the Asuras of who gets to drink it first amongst them. So they've already got the nectar pot now. So now they're fighting about who gets to drink it first. So as that fight is actually going on, suddenly Bhagavan disappears from that particular point. So, Udgachatas Tava Karad Amritam Haratsu, Daityeshu Tan. I'm just going to break that word into three parts. You don't have to break it, but if you want to, it's Tan Asharanan Anuniya. Okay, those are the three words, but you can say it Tan Asharanan Anuniya Devan Sadyas Tirodhadita Deva Bhavat Prabhavat. Put it at the end of that line, comma, prabhavat. Next line, if you have a du, that becomes a u. Udyat swa yutya kalaha ditija bhabuvuhu. Udgachatastavakarādamritam haratsu daityeshu tāna sharanan anuniya devan sadyastirōdhadita deva bhavat prabhavat Udyat swayutya kalahaditija bhabhuvuhu.
Udgacchadastava karadamodam harastu Daityeshu tara sharanan anuniya devan Sadyasti doradostida darodhida devat bhavat prabhavat Udyasvayudya kalahadijida bahuvuhu. Udgattadaschavakaramudam harastu Daityeshu tara sharanan anuniya devan Sadyastirodhida deva bhavavat prabhavat Udyatsvayudya kalaha dijida babhuhu.
Third line, first word, Lakshmanji, Sadyas Tirodhadita.
Sadyastirodhadita.
Yeah.
Udgachatastava kara amritam haratstu daityeshu tan asharan anuniya devan sadyas tirodhadita deva bhavat प्रभावात् उद्यत्स्वयुत्यकलाः दिदिजा बहुः
The second line is Sharanan. Okay, it's a R sound coming there.
Sharanan. Oh, okay. Sharanan Nunuya.
Sharanan Anuniya.
Asharan Anu.
I
Asharan.
think you were saying Tana Sharanan, you said. I said Tana Sharanan Anuniya.
Utkachastavam karadamritam haratstu daiteshu tan asharanan anuniya devan sadyasthirodita deva bhavat prabhavat udyat swayutya kalaha didicha bahuhu.
The third line again, first word, Shubhanga. Sadyastiro dhadhita.
Sadyasthirodhadita
Yeah.
deva bhavat prabhavat udyat swayutya kalaha didicha bahuhu.
Answer 2. Shamham ruchapi vayasapi tanum tadhanim praptosi tunga kucha mandala bhanguram tvam piyusha kumbha kalaham parimuchya sarve trishna kulah pratiyayustvaduroja kumbhe. So then the Bhagavan disappears from there, and the Asuras are on one end fighting who gets to drink the nectar. The Devas are all patiently waiting, wondering what's going to happen. So at that time, O Lord, you took an incarnation which has never been seen before. So even Dhanvantri is an extension of the Lord, right? So in the previous stanza, last time, he came as a very dark colored male who looked extremely handsome in the form of Dhanvantri. So now he's coming in the form of a female, who's looking. Mahalakshmi was one side, which was like when she came, it was lightening. So she was kind of brightening up that whole place. So this Mohini, this avataram, when Lord is coming as Mohini, he's coming in the form of very beautiful female, very dark in complexion. And she's compared to like a black lotus. She was like, looked so pretty, but very dark in color. And she's coming. Suddenly, this lady appears there. So when this lady is appearing there, just like how when Mahalakshmi appeared, everybody's gaze kind of went towards Mahalakshmi. The same thing is happening. Everybody's kind of getting attracted to this beautiful lady who's coming here. And even the Asuras are beginning to look there. And of course, what she does is very shyly, very cautiously, she goes there and then she's approaching the Asuras. Right? At the moment the Asuras see her, they start because they had Varuni with them, which was like we spoke about earlier, right? Which was the source of all the sins. There's a lot of lust that is actually developing within the Asuras when they start looking at Mohini. So, Shyamam, Ruchapi, some books have Vachasapi. If you have Vachasa, change it to Vayasapi. Okay, change the cha to a ya. Vayasapi, Tanum Tadanim, Praptosi, Tunga, Ucha, Mandala, Bhanguram, Tvam, Piyusha, Kumbha, Kalaham, Parimuchya Sarve, Trishnakulaha, put a F to join, Trishnakulav, Pratiyayus, Twaduroja Kumbhe. Shyamham Ruchapi Vayasapi Tanum Tadhanim, Praptosi Tunga Kucha Mandala Bhanguram Tvam, Piyusha Kumbha Kalaham Parimuchya Sarve, Trishna Kulaf Pratiyayustvaduroja Kumbhe.
Shyamam rujapi vayasapi tanum tananim praptosi tunga kuja mandala bhankuram tvam piyusha kumbha kalaham parimuchya sarve trishna kulaf tiyayusta duroja kumbhe.
That last line, Pratiyayus.
Pratiyayus. Shyamam rujapi vayasapi tanum tananim praptosi tunga kuja mandala bhankuram tvam piyusha kumbha kalaham parimuchya sarve trishna kulah pratiyayusta duroja kumbhe.
Krishnanji, do you have the Tvam in the third line? The Tvam is part of the second line. Bhanguram Tvam And then
I have thumb in the third line. Okay, I'll fix
Okay.
it.
I think, yeah, it has to move to the second line. Okay.
श्यामां रुचापि वयसापि तनुं तदानीं प्राप्तोऽसि तुङ्गकुचमण्डलभङ्गुरां त्वं पीयूषकुम्भकलहं परिमुच्य सर्वे तृष्णाकुलाः प्रतिययुस्त्वदुरोजकुम्भे श्यामां रुचापि वयसापि तनुं तदानीं प्राप्तोऽसि तुङ्गकुचमण्डलभङ्गुरां त्वं पीयूषकुम्भकलहं परिमुच्य सर्वे तृष्णाकुलाः प्रतिययुस्त्वदुरोजकुम्भे.
That's 3. कात्वं मृगाक्षि विभजस्व सुधामिमामितीम् आरूढरागविवशानभियाचतुमून् विश्वस्य ते मयि कथं कुलटास्मि दैत्याः इत्यालपन्नपि सुविश्वसितानतानीः. So immediately the asuras, they approached Mohini Devi and said, you know what, who are you? Like, Katam Mrigakshi, you have beautiful eyes like that of a deer, so you look so pretty also. She was saying, we have not seen you before. So who are you? Where have you come from? What are you doing here? They kind of ask her all those questions, right? And then they end up opening up to this Mohini. They say, you know what, we are all brothers, right? Among all the asuras, we are all one clan. But we all are fighting because we have this, this nectar that is there with us, right? And we are unsure how we actually have to distribute this nectar amongst us. And she's, in fact, not only amongst us, our own brothers, because Kashyapa is also the father of the Devas, because they are, at the end of the day, coming from Diti and Aditi. So it's even our other side brothers from our other mother, we are fighting amongst all of us because of this nectar. I think you are a neutral party. So you have to actually come and help us distribute this nectar amongst ourselves, right? Of course, if Mohini immediately says, okay, then people will start finding will suspicious, right? So she says, okay, understand that. She says, you all are great personalities. She says, I am a Kulata. I am a Daitya. Kulatasmi Daitya. So he says, Kulata is referring to a prostitute. She says, I am like a prostitute. Okay, so I can't even hang out with all of you. You all are such great personalities, right? I am a very low class woman. She says, how can I come and distribute nectar to all of you? He says that is not possible, because it's like unheard of, right? But person as smart as you people should not even interact with a lady like me. So, but the demon says, no, that's fine. You are a neutral person. We completely trust you, and then you need to kind of do this for us. So then, okay, so that's what is happening at this. So, ka tvam mrigakshi vibhajasva sudhami mamiti. So you're going to put a ti at the end of that line. Sudhami mamiti, comma. Next line, the tya that you have, it's going to become an a. So that's what we did. We broke the t and a. So it becomes arudha raga vivashan. That na you can put in there. Vivashan abhiya chatomun. Vishwasyate mai katham kulatasmi daityaha. Add a visarga, you won't have it there, add it, comma, daityaha. Ityalapannapi suvi shwasithanatanihi. Katvam mrigakshi vibhajasva sudhami mamiti arudharaga vivashana bhiyachatomun. Vishwasyate mai katham kulatasmi daityaha ityalapannapi suvishwasitanatanihi.
Katvam mrigakshi vibhajasva sudhami mamiti arudharaga vivashan anabhiyachatomun Vishwasyate mayi katham kuladasmi daityaha ityalapanna visu vishwasidanatanihi.
Krishnanji, that second line, Vivashan Abhiya Chatomun. I think you added an extra na there when you said it. So Vivashan Abhiya Chatomun.
Abhiya, okay, I got an extra na there. Okay. Katvam mrigakshi vibhajasva sudhami mamiti arudharaga vivashan abhiyachatomun Vishwasyate mayi kadham kuladasmi daityaha ityalapanna visu vishwa sitanatanihi.
का त्वं मृगाशी विभजस्व सुधामिमामिति आरूढरागविवशान् अभियाचतो मून् विश्वस्यते मयि कथं कुलात्स्मि दैत्याः कुलटास्मि दैत्याः इत्यालपन्नपि सुवि स्वस्तिनतानिहि.
And the word suvi shvasitan athanihi.
स्वसितानतानि. का त्वं मृगासि विभजस्व सुधामिमामिति आरूढराग विवसान् अभियाचतो मून् विश्वस्यते मयि कथं कुलटास्मि दैत्याः इत्यालपन्नपि सुवि स्वसितानतानिः.
That's a good. Mudhat sudha kalashameshu dadatsu satvam duscheshtitam mama sahadvamite bruvana pankti prabheda viniveshita deva daitya leela vilasa gatibes samadas sudham tam. So then Mohini tells them, sure, I can be a neutral party, right? Because you all trust me. But she says, but I have only one condition. I don't know all these rules and regulations of this. So the way I am going to do it, you all have to accept it the way it is, right? You can't keep later on come and blame me that you didn't do this properly, you did not distribute this properly. So as long as you accept that conditions, I will happily do it. Asura says absolutely, right? We'll completely trust you, right? The way you want to do it. So anyway, so then she tells them to get ready, right? So they all have to, because they have to consume nectar, right? Which is supposed to give them a long life. Nobody is immortal. Okay, absolutely nobody in this Brahmandam is immortal. But what it does is it extends your lifespan. That's what it is going to do. So, they all have to get ready, do the necessary rituals, and then eventually, Pankti, in Tamil, they say Pandi podradhu in marriage, right? The Pandi. Sanskrit reference to this is Pankti. Pankti means to sit parallelly in rows. So, Mohini makes them sit parallelly in rows, the Asuras and the Devas, and she says, okay, I will then begin to distribute the nectar to all of you. So, Modat Sudha Kalashameshu Dadatsu Satvam, Duscheshtitam Mama Sahadvamiti Bruvana Pankti Prabheda Biniveshita Deva Daitya, Leela Vilasa Gatibihi, put a is to join, Gatibis Samadhaha, again is to join, Samadas Sudham Tam. So, but everybody is saying you, because he's directly talking to Krishna, right? So he's saying, oh, Krishna, you then decided to make them sit in this and then decided to carry the pot of nectar to distribute amongst them. Modat sudha kalashameshu dadatsu satvam duscheshtitam mama sahadvamite bhruvana pankti prabheda viniveshita deva daitya leela vilasa gatibhis samada sudham tam.
मोदौत्सुधा कलशमेषु ददस्तु दास्तत्वं दुश्चेष्टिदं मम सहध्वमिति ब्रुवाण पङ्गित्प्रभेदविनिवेशित देवदैत्य लीलाविलासगतिभिः समदाः सुधांसाम् मोदात्स्तुगा कलशमेषु ददस्तु दास्तत्वं दुश्चेष्टिदं मम सहध्वमि भुवान पङ्क्तिप्रभेव विनिवेशित देवदैत्य लीलाविलासगतिभिः समदा सुधां ताम्.
मोदात् सुधा कलसमेषु ददत्सु सात्वं दुश्चेष्टितं मम सहध्वमिति ब्रुवाना पङ्क्तिप्रभेद विनिवेशित देवदैत्या लीला विलास गतिभिः समदा सुधां ताम्. मोदात् सुधा कलसमेषु ददत्सु सात्वं दुश्चेष्टितं मम सहध्वमिति ब्रुवाना पङ्क्तिप्रभेद विनिवेशित देवदैत्या लीलाविलासगतिभिः समदा सुधां ताम्
Thumbs up, right? अस्मास्विहं प्रणयिनीत्यसुरेषु तेषु जोषं स्थितेष्वत समाप्य सुधां सुरेषु त्वं भक्तलोकवशको निजरूपमेत्य स्वर्भानुमर्दपरिपीत सुधं व्यलावीः. So Mohini now takes the container. She's ready to distribute. So first she goes to the Asuras and then goes has a conversation with them, but tells them I'll be right back, right? And then then she goes to the Devas, and then because she has to make sure the Asuras don't get the nectar, so she goes to the Devas who are sitting in another row and starts giving them, right? Now, the Asuras are looking at this and saying something is fishy here, right? Like she's supposed to give us the nectar, but somehow we are now being second. But sometimes nobody wants to speak up because they are worried that, everything is going well. This Mohini likes us. Now somebody is going to raise a voice and that's going to disrupt the whole process, right? So they all keep quiet because nobody wants to kind of go and meddle with this thing, but they all have some suspicion, right? So at that time, what happens is when the Devas are all seated, see, I was explaining this in a different class yesterday, but all these personalities that we speak about, right? Like Indra, Agni, Vayu, Surya, Chandra, all of these, right? They are all like titles which exist in a company. Okay, it's like president or vice president or a treasurer, CFO. It's not a person's name. Okay, so that role changes with every Manu. The person who takes it changes with every Manu. So think of the Manu as a CEO. When a new CEO comes, they come disrupt the entire leadership team. That's what happens, right? They bring up new people. So it's only a title. So when we say Surya Deva, it means it's a god, it's a demigod who's responsible for that particular planetary system. Okay, so and that role is fixed, but the person who takes that role changes every time. Okay, so here what happens is the Devas are all seated there. So at that time, there's one Asura called a Swarbhanu who somehow disguises like a Deva and he goes and sits between two Devas. So when Mohini is going and giving all these Devas this nectar, the Swarbhanu also gets nectar. And then he starts drinking it. The moment he starts drinking it, the two Devas sitting on either side say, "No, what? You are not a Deva." They identify. So they immediately call out when they come to know about it. So at that time, instantly, this Mohini disappears from there and the Narayana form appears, and then he takes a Sudarshana Chakram and chops off that Swarbhanu. So that Swarbhanu who's then chopped later on, that's the story of Rahu and Ketu, who you might have heard, right? So that is not mentioned here, but that is the concept of Rahu and Ketu. That's why because the head is surviving and still alive because it has consumed the nectar, but the body is lost. So that's why the snake is given. They take a snake and put the body of a snake, right, to this body. Anyway, so here. Sorry, where did I go? Yeah. So, so what happens is, so he comes and gets rid of the Swarbhanu, who's then sitting between the Asuras and the Devas. So, Asma Swiyam Pranayinitya Sureshu. So, we cannot break that word. Pranayinitya Sureshu Teshu, comma, Josham Stiteshwata Samapya Sudham Sureshu Tvam Bhaktaloka Vashago Nijarupamethya, comma, Swarbhanum. You can break it that much. Swarbhanum Ardha Paripita Sudham Vyalavihi. Asma Swiham Pranayinitya Sureshu Teshu Josham Stiteshwata Samapya Sudham Sureshu Tvam Bhaktaloka Vashago Nijarupamethya Swarbhanumardha Paripita Sudham Vyalavihi.
अस्मासुयं प्रणयीनित्यसुरेषु तेषु जोषं स्थितेष्वत्थ समाप्य सुधां सुरेषु त्वं भक्तलोकवशगो निजरूपमेत्य स्वभानुम् अर्धपरिपीतसुधं व्यलापिः अस्मासुयं प्रणयीनित्यसुरेषु तेषु जोषं स्थितेष्वत्थ समाप्य सुधां सुरेषु त्वं भक्तलोकवशगो निजरूपमेत्य स्वभानुम् अर्धपरिपीतसुधं व्यलावीः
अस्मा स्वीयं प्रणयिनीत्यसुरेषु तेषु जोषं स्थितेष्वत समाप्य सुधां सुरेषु त्वं भक्तलोकवसगो निजरूपमेत्य स्वर्भानुमर्दपरिपीठसुधां व्यलावीः अस्मा स्वीयं प्रणयिनीत्य सुरेषु तेषु जोषां स्थितेष्वत समाप्य सुधां सुरेषु त्वं भक्तलोकवसगो निजरूपमेत्य स्वर्भानुमर्दपरिपीठ सुधां व्यलाविः वीः
And first in the Sudham, you said it's Sudham. I think some other place you added an extra, but that's okay. The last line is Paripita Sudham Vyalavihi.
स्वर्भानुमर्दपरिपीठ सुधं व्यलावीः
Stanza 6.
ராஜேஷ் இதுல வந்து ஜோஷாம்னு இல்ல ஜோஷம்
Josham. I think that was the word. Yeah, I think, yeah. She was saying Josham in the second line, first word.
Okay, Josham.
Josham. Yeah. Stanza 6. Tvatta sudhaharana yogya phalam pareshu dattva gate tvai surai khalute vyagrinnan ghoreta murchatirane balidaitya maya vyamohite suragane tvamiha virasihi. So that Mohini has disappeared now, right? So she came, she distributed the nectar to the Devas. The moment she saw that Swarbhanu was doing it, Mohini form went away, but the original Vishnu form comes and then he gets rid of Swarbhanu. So if you kind of look at it, the Devas and the Asuras, the place, the time, what they were doing, the purpose, the activity they all were doing, the ambition that both of them had is exactly the same, right? So we say, time, place we have to look, time we have to look. They're all doing the same thing. They both were present at the same time. They both are trying to do the same thing. They both are at the same place. The effort both of them put are also exactly the same. But the results were extremely opposite to each other for the Devas and the Asuras. What was the difference? The only difference was that the Devas felt they took Sharanam of the Lord and said, you have to help us out in this process all the way around. And the Asuras absolutely did not, and they felt they can go do things on their own merit. That's the only difference if you look between the Devas and the Asuras in this entire process, right? So you can put all the effort. It could be a good time. It could be a good day. It's a good place. Everything you're doing good, but unless you have the blessings of the Lord, right things are not going to happen, right? That's what this whole thing is teaching, that one main thing, right? So anyway, so that devotional service is extremely important in addition to the activities that you're doing. It doesn't mean you can't do activities, right? Anyway, so here, so having, the Asuras, they don't get the nectar. Devas have gotten the nectar. So at that time, the Asuras get very angry, right? So now, because they were promised an equal share of this, so now a battle is going to start. A battle starts between the Asuras and the Devas, right? And the Devas are not like immortal. It just means their life has been prolonged, right? And Bali Maharaja, who's leading the Asuras, so he then takes charge and he has all these magical things which they do, and the battle, they start fighting with each other. So, so the last word, Tomiha Virasihi. So when you realize that the Devas cannot win, so you again appear. Like I said, this 27, 28, 29, the multiple times he has to make entries, right? So you appear again to help the Devas out in this battle. So Tvattaha, put the is, Tvattas Sudha Harana Yogya Phalam Pareshu, comma, Datva Gate Tvai Suraihi, put a ich sound, Suraih, Kalute Vyagrinnan, Ghoreta Murchati Rane, put a comma there after Rane, Bali Daitya Maya, put a plus, Vyamohite Suragane, then put a comma. So we'll have one comma after Rane, and then continuous, and after Suragane, comma, Tvamiha Virasihi. Tvatta Sudhaharana Yogya Phalam Pareshu Dattva Gate Tvai Surai Khalute Vyagrinnan Ghoreta Murchatirane Balidaitya Maya Vyamohite Suragane Tvamiha Virasihi.
त्वत्तस्सुदाहरणयोग्यफलं परेषु दत्त्वा गदे त्वयि सुरैः खलु ते व्यघ्रण्य घोरे
Vyagrinnan.
वघन्यन् घोरे धमूर्च्छदिरणे बलिदैत्यमाया व्यामोहिदे सुरगणे त्वमिहाविरासिः.
That after the Murchati Rane, the third line, Krishna, there is a comma, okay?
Okay. त्वत्त्वसुधाहरणयोग्यफलं परेषु तत्त्वागदे त्वयि सुरैः खलु वघ्रण्यन् घोरधे मूर्च्छतिरणे बलिदैत्यमाया व्यामोहिदे सुरगणे त्वमिहाविरासिः.
त्वत्तः योग्यफलं परेषु दत्त्वा गते त्वयि सुरैः खलु ते व्यगृह्णन् घोरे तमूर्च्छति रणे बलिदैत्यं माया व्यामोहिते सुरगणे. Lost on the tune. Go.
Yeah, finish it, yeah. Ghore tamurchati rane
Ghore
balidaityamaya vyamोहिते suragane त्वमिहा विरासीः.
घोरे तमूर्छितरणे बलिदैत्य माया व्यामोहिते सुरगणे त्वमिहा विरासीः.
Yeah, त्वमिहा विरासीः.
त्वमिहा विरासीः. त्वत्तः सुधा हरणयोग्यफलं परेषु दत्त्वा गते त्वयि सुरैः खलु ते व्यगृह्णन् घोरे तमूर्च्छतिरणे बलिदैत्यमाया व्यामोहिते सुरगणे त्वामिह विरासीः.
त्वमिहा विरासीः.
त्वमिहा विरासीः.
Stanza 7. त्वं कालनेमिमतमालिमुकाञ्जगन्थ शक्रो जघान बलिजम्बवलान् सपाकान् शुष्कार्धदुष्करवदेन मुचौ चलूने फेनेन नारदगिरा न्यरुणो रणं त्वम्. This is a battle that is happening now. And in this battle, you, Krishna, you come as Narayana, you get rid of Kalanemi, Mali, and a few others. Now, this name Kalanemi is going to come again in the 75th Dashakam, and I will remind you at that time that remember in 29, Krishna Narayana got rid of Kalanemi, right? So we'll discuss it at that point. So anyway, this Kalanemi is gotten rid of now. And then Indra then gets rid of few others. Bali, who's the Bali Maharaja, he's not dead. He's defeated and he faints because he's going to wake up again in the next Dashakam. So he faints. Bali is gotten rid of, and Jamba, Bala, all of these people he gets rid of. Indra gets rid of. Then there was one Asura called as Namuchi. So Indra is not able to defeat him, right? So, Indra then goes and tells, so Namuchi is almost, he gets hold of Indra. So this Namuchi says, okay, Indra, I will let you go on one condition, right? That next time when you come to fight me, you cannot kill me same conditions like Hiranyakashipu, like day, night, and he says, with anything solid or with anything liquid. You can't kill me with any of those items, right? That's one of the conditions that this Namuchi puts. So, and he lets Indra go. So now, what Indra then does is, he then kills him with Penene. Penene means foam, F-O-A-M, foam. So, which is neither wet nor solid, right? It's in between. It can be, you can't say it's liquid. At the same time, it is also a little bit, it's not solid either, right? So with the foam, he creates a weapon and then gets rid of this Namuchi. Anyway, so this battle is going between all of these things. And then eventually Narada is coming and telling the Devas, you have already gotten the nectar. Why unnecessarily fight? And then he stops the battle. So they all go back. Tvam kalane mimatha mali mukanja gantha. So it's mali mukanja gantha, comma. Shakro Jagana Bali Jamba Balan Sapakan Shushkardra Dushkara Vade Namuchau Cha Lune, put a plus Penene and then a comma. So I have a comma after the word Penene, comma. Naradagira Nyaruno Ranam Tvam. Tvam kalane mimatamali mukanja gantha Shakro Jagana Balijamba Valan Sapakan Shushkardra Dushkara Vade Namuchau Chalune Penene नारदगिरान्यरुणो रणं त्वम्
त्वं कालनेमिमथमालिमुखाञ्च घन्ता शक्रो जघानबलिजम्भबलान् सपाकान् शुष्काद्रदुष्करवधे न मौचौजलूने फेनेन नारदगिरा गिरान्यरुणो रणत्वम् त्वं कालनेमिमथमालिमुखाञ्च घन्ता शक्रो जघानबलिजम्भबलान् सपाकान् शुष्काक्तदुष्करवधे न मौचौजलूने फेनेन नारदगिरा निरुणो रणं त्वम्.
The second line after that word jamba, it is valan, B as in Victor, valan. I heard a balan there.
Balan, okay.
Valan, okay.
त्वं कालनेमिमथमालिमुखाञ्जगन्त चक्रो जगानबलिजम्बबलान् सपाकान् शुष्कार्धदुष्करवदे नमौचचे लूनपेनेन नारादगिरन्यनुरोरणं त्वम्.
And the Shubha, the third line le Shushka Adra Dushkaravade Namuchau Chalune Penena.
Namuchau Chalune Penena. Tvam kalanemimath mali mukhanjanta chakro jagana balijamba balan sapakan sushkarda dushkaravade namuchaucha lune penena naradagiranyanoranam tvam.
Say it. Yosha Vapurdhanuja Mohanamahitam te Shrutva Vilokana Kutuhalavan Maheshah Bhutai Samam Girijaya Chagataf Padam te Stutva Bravida Bhimatam Tomato Tirodha. So this act that Narayana did, where he came in the form of a woman and then kind of got the devas control of the that spreads, right? So a lot of people were witness to that, but a lot of people could not see that. One of the person who could not see that was Lord Shiva. So Shiva was like very surprised to hear. She says she goes to meet along with where did that stanza go? Yeah. Along with Girijaya, so along with Parvati, he's going there. Shiva is going to meet Narayana. And he says, I've seen so many incarnations of yours where you have done all these amazing things. But I heard that you took the form of a woman and then you tricked the devas. Somehow I miss seeing that, right? I heard a lot of things about it, but I did not get a chance to see that. So, so can you tell me about it? So then Narayana tells him, this is what I did. I came in the form of this Mohini, and this devas were just, asuras were completely enamored with me, right? So Shiva is like, he's getting really surprised. He's like, I really want to see that of yours, right? Because I did not get to witness it. And he's also surprised how the asuras fell for a woman like that, right? So at that time, Tomato Tirodaha. So you then disappear, O Lord. So Narayana disappears as Shiva is talking to him at this point. So Yosha, actually, let's just switch. It's halfway point. Priya, you can be a student and see who I had here. I think Padmaja Maikundam is not available, looks like. Okay, Amuta, you can be student. Yosha Vapur Danuja Mohanam Ahitam te, Shrutva Bilokana Kutuhalavan Maheshah Bhutais Samam Girijaya Cha Gataha, put a F to join, Gataf Padam te, Stutva Bravid, up to that is one word. So Stutva Bravida Bhimatam Tomato Tirodhaha. Yosha Vapur Danuja Mohanamahitam te Shrutva Vilokana Kutuhalavan Maheshah Bhutai Samam Girijaya Chagataf Padam te Stutva Bravida Bhimatam Tomato Tirodhaha.
Yosha Vapurdhanujamohana Mahitam te Shrutva Vilokana Kutuhalavan Maheshah भूतैः समं गिरिजया च गतः पदं ते श्रुत्वा ब्रवीद् अभिमतं त्वमतोतिरोधाः योषा वपुर्धनुजमोहनमाहितं ते श्रुत्वा विलोकनकुतूहलवान् महेशः भूतैः समं गिरिजया च गतः पदं ते श्रुत्वा ब्रवीद् अभिमतं त्वमतोतिरोधाः
योषा वपुर्धनुजमोहनमाहितं ते श्रुत्वा विलोकनकुतूहलवान् महेशः भूतैः समं गिरिजय च कदपदं ते स्तुत्वा प्रवीदभिमतं त्वमतो तिरोधाः योषा वपुर्धनुजमोहनमाहितं ते श्रुत्वा विलोकनकुतूहलवान् महेशः भूतैः समं गिरिजया च कदपदं ते स्तुत्वा प्रवीदभिमतं त्वमतो त्रितोदाः
Tirodhaha. Last word.
तिरोदाः
Right? आरामसीमनि च कन्दुकघातलीला लोलायमाननयनां कमनीं मनोज्ञां त्वामेष्य वीक्ष्य विगलत् वसना मनोभूवेगादनङ्गरिपुरङ्गसमालिलिङ्ग. So next, at the time, like Vishnu suddenly disappears and Shiva is standing there with Parvati and all his Bhutaganas. Then suddenly he sees, that neighboring in an area which looks very pretty. In there is a girl, a beautiful woman who is actually running around, right? And suddenly Shiva is, it says here, that's what the one who has the what do you call Kamadeva Ananga. So the one who has a body, the Cupid Kamadeva, you made him Ananga. You made him without a body because you burnt him down, right? Because he tried to disturb Shiva's, what do you call meditation, right? So Shiva is the highest of yogi who has control over all his senses and everything, right? So that Shiva is suddenly getting attracted to this woman who is actually running around. Some random woman running around, right? And Parvati is standing and Shiva just keeps looking at this woman. He cannot take his eyes off of this woman. And he keeps looking there, and then this woman is running around and Shiva's eyes just keeps chasing her, right? And he keeps doing this. And at that time, this woman also is trying to kind of tempt him, right? She doesn't look and all that. And Shiva is, beginning to, he loses control. And then Samalilinga, Shiva, you go and embrace this woman who is there, right? So, and I'll tell you the next one together because the story will not flow otherwise. So he almost goes and embraces this woman. Then suddenly he gets control because it's at the end of the day, he's Lord Shiva. So, he realizes what happened, right? And he wonders, how can I lose sense? How can I not be able to control my sense, right? So at that time, then that lady was none other than Mohini. So this Mohini then again becomes Narayana and says, this is the thing that I was actually able to do, because it says this Maya is so powerful. The material energy of the Lord is just so powerful that there's nobody who cannot escape it, or nobody can escape it unless the Lord wishes that you escape it, right? So unless that happens, is impossible. So we can all try to say, I'm controlling my various senses and my mind, all of that stuff. You can go up to a particular point. Until the Lord wishes that you control it, there's absolutely nobody who can control. That's how powerful it is, that even Shiva loses very briefly, right? So then Shiva then tells Parvati that, look, if I myself am not able to contain it, then the rest of the world, it's impossible for them all to control all of these senses on their own, right? So it's very hard, and that is the example here, So this story ends here, but of course, later on, there's a separate story that goes of how this Mohini Avataram then results in Shasta, and then this Bhasmasura, all of that, which is not in Narayaneeyam or Bhagavatam. So I won't get there. Anyway, that's what is happening. So with this Mohini Avataram comes to an end. He says, oh Lord, you are such, you have so much. So Shiva himself can fall. The Asuras are super easy to get, make them fall in line, right? Anyway, so with that, you who took care of all of this in so many ways, you help the Devas, please eradicate my ailments also. So Arama Simani Cha Kanduka Ghata Leela, put a plus, Lolaya Mana Nayanam Kamanim Manognyam. So those two lines together. Twamesha Vikshya Vigalat Vasanam Manobhu. Again a plus. The next word, Vegat Anangari Puranga. If you want to break it, or you can say it together, Vegad Anangari. Vegad Anangari Puranga Samali Linga. Aramasi च कंदुक घात लीला लोला यमान नयनाम कमनी मनोज्ञाम त्वामेश्य वीक्ष विगलत्वसना मनोभूवेगादनंगरि पुरंग समालिलिंग.
आरामसीमणि च कन्दुकघातलीला लोलायमानन माननयनां कमनीमनोज्ञां त्वामेष वीक्ष्य विगलद्वसनां मनोभूवेगादनङ्गरिपुरङ्गसमालिलिङ्ग. आरामसीमणि च कन्दुकघातलीला लोलायमाननयनां कमनीमनोज्ञां त्वामेष वीक्ष्य विगलद्वसनां मनोभूवेगात् अनन्गरि पुरङ्गसमालिलिङ्ग.
आरामसीमणि च कन्दुककादलीला लोलायमान नयनां कमनीमनोज्ञां त्वामेष वीक्ष्य विगलद्वसना मनोभू वेगादनङ्गरि पुरङ्गसमालिलिङ्ग. आरामसीमणि च कन्दुककादलीला लोलायमान नयनां कमनीमनोज्ञां त्वामेष वीक्ष्य विगलद्वसना मनोभू वेगादनङ्गरि पुरङ्गसमालिलिङ्ग.
Amitaji, that second line, last word, Manognya, Nya sound, Manognyam.
मनोज्ञां
Yeah.
मनोज्ञां नयनां कमनीं मनोज्ञां.
Consider. भूयोऽपि विद्रुतवतीमुपधाव्य देवो वीर्यप्रमोक्षविकसत् परमार्थबोधः त्वं हानितस्तव महत्त्वमुवाच देव्यै तत्तादृशस्त्वमववात निकेतनाथ. So भूयोऽपि vidrutavatim, you can break it that ma vatim, upadhavya devo, virya pramoksha vikasat paramartha bodha tvam manitas tava mahatvamuvacha devyai, tattadrishas tvamava vata niketanatha. भूयोऽपि विद्रुतवतीमुपधाव्य देवो वीर्यप्रमोक्षविकसत् परमार्थबोधः त्वन्मानितस्तव महत्त्वमुवाच देव्यै तत्तादृशस्त्वमववात निकेतनाथ.
भूयोऽपि उपधाव्य देवो वीर्यप्रमोक्षविकसत् परमार्थबोधः त्वन्मानितस्तव महत्त्वमुवाच देव्यै तत्तादृशस्त्वमववात निकेतनाथ. भूयोऽपि विद्रुतवतीम् उपधाव्य देवो वीर्यप्रमोक्षविकसत् परमार्थबोधः त्वन्मानितस्तव महत्त्वमुवाच देव्यै तत्तादृशस्त्वमववात निकेतनाथ.
भूयोऽपि विद्रुतवतीम् उपधाव्य देवो वीर्यो प्रमोक्षविकसत् परमार्थबोधः त्वन्मानितस्व महत्त्वम् उवाच देव्यै तत्तादृशस्त्वमववात निकेतनाथ. भूयोऽपि विद्रुतवतीम् उपधाव्य देवो वीर्यप्रमोक्षविकसत् परमार्थबोधः बोधः त्वन्मानिदस्त्वमहत्व उवाच देव्यै तत्तादृशस्त्वमव वादनिकेतनाथ.
Third line, something was not landing. So, Twan Manitas Tava Mahat. Okay, I think that Tava, you were not saying the word fully. I think because of that, I felt it was not landing. Okay.
त्वन्मानितस्तव महत्त्वमुवाच देव्यै.
Yeah. Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. That completed a stretch of 3 Dasakams. Next, another pair of 2 is coming, right? So, Vamanavatara Varnanam, which is in Dasakam 30 right now. This 30 and 31 will go together. So this now it's going to be like a stretch of things. We just had the Kurma Avataram. Now Vamana Avataram is going to come. Next, it's going to be immediately Rama Avataram, then Parashurama Avataram. Then from 37, it'll be all related to Krishna, right? So the next stretch of like 6, 7 will be like fast moving stories. Shakrena samyati hatopi bhaler mahatma Shukrena jivita tanuh kratuvardhitoshma Vikrantiman bhayanilina suram trilokim Shakre vashe satava chakra mukadha bhitaha. So this thing is now technically that previous one was in the 6th Manu. Now this one from now on, this Vamana Avataram, Rama Avataram, Parashurama Avataram, Krishna Avataram is the current Vaivaswata Manu. So completely different period, which means after several thousands and thousands of years. Okay. So what happens is the Bali Maharaja, some of these people still continue. Now this Bali Maharaja is one such person who I don't know how old this Bali Maharaja is going to be. So he is still continuing after having lost with Indra. Over a long period of time, new Indras have come, but this Bali Maharaja has gained strength again, right? And he is now going and he's able to, because so many thousands of years have passed. And then this Bali Maharaja gets more stronger because of his guru, Shukracharya. He blesses him and he's gaining more strength and he goes and defeats Indra. Now he says, okay, now that I've defeated Indra, Bali says, I want to become the next Indra. Now, the way you become the Indra, like I said, Indra is a post. He said the way you become the next Indra is you have to go perform, I think 100 this Ashwamedha Yajnas you have to perform. Then you become Indra. You perform 1,000, you become the next Brahma. So this Bali Maharaj is going and he asks guidance from Shukracharya. So he recommends another, one Yajna. He says you continue to perform it because then you continue to be strong for now. Right? So that's what Bali Maharaja is now doing because he's now conquering all of these worlds and then he has become really strong again. Asuras have gained power. Shakrena. So Sha, when it comes, it's Indra. Okay. So the Sha and Cha, because Chakra will come later. That is different. So Shakrena Samyati Hatopi Balir Mahatma, Shukrena Jibita Tanuhu put Tanuh Kratu Vardhitoshma Vikrantiman, Bhaya, Nilin, Asuram, you can break it that na, Nilin, Asuram, Trilokim, Chakre, Vashe, Satava, Chakra, Mukada, Bhitaha. He's saying he's not afraid of your Chakram, Sudarshana Chakram. He's not afraid of Sudarshana Chakram because Bali Maharaja is the grandson of Prahlada. Right? So when you have the greatest of devotee like Prahlada, and at the time Hiranyakashipu, Narasimha told Prahlada that you are so blessed, your generation, I won't do anything or under my guidance, right? So Bali is very confident, that because of that, Lord will not come and destroy me. The same, this Bali's son is going to come as Bana in, I think, 84 or 83rd chapter. He's going to come again at that point. So they all are super confident that Narayana will not get rid of them. So they end up doing a lot of atrocities because of that. But anyway, so Shakrena Samyati, Shakrena Samyati Hatopi Balir Mahatma Shukrena Jivita Tanuh Kratuvardhitoshma Vikrantiman Bhayanilina Suram Trilokim Chakre Vashe Satava Chakra Mukada Bhitaha.
Chakreන samyati hatopi balir mahatma Shukrena jivita tanuh kratuvardhitoshma Vikrantiman vayanilina asuram trilokim Chakre vashe स तव चक्रमुखादभीतः शक्रेण संयति हतोऽपि बलिर्महात्मा शुक्रेण जीविततनुक्रतुवर्धितोष्मा विक्रान्तिमान् भयनिलीन असुरां त्रिलोकीं चक्रे वशे स तव चक्रमुखादभीतः।
शक्रेण संयति हतोऽपि बलिर्महात्मा शुक्रेण जीवितधनुग्रदवर्तिदोष्मा विक्रान्तिमान् भयनीलीन् असुरां त्रिलोकीं चक्रे वशे स तव चक्रमुखादभीतः। शक्रेण संयति हतोऽपि बलिर्महात्मा शुक्रेण जीवितधनुग्रदुवर्तिदोष्मा विक्रान्तिमान् भयनीलीन् असुरां त्रिलोकीं चक्रे वशे स तव चक्रमुखादभीतः।
पुत्रार्तिदर्शनवशाददितिर्विषण्णा तं काश्यपं निजपतिं शरणं प्रपन्ना त्वत्पूजनं तदुदितं हि पयोव्रताख्यं साध्वादशाहमचरत् त्वयि भक्तिपूर्णा. So when Aditi, who is the mother of all the devas, because Diti was the mother of the asuras, right? Hiranyakashipu, Kashyapa, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So with this Aditi is seeing that her sons, which are the devas, are struggling, they're not able to regain, the asuras have become strong. So she approaches Kashyapa, her husband, and says, what do I do? So he says, the only option is to pray. He says, I want you to perform a vratam called as a Payo Vrata. This Payo Vrata is a 12 days vratam, which they do, where they don't eat anything but only sustain on milk. But it's not just fasting on milk, it's also non-stop prayers, right? So they do, Kashyapa recommends to Aditi that, you do this Payo Vrata, you do that for 12 months, and he recommends a day, it will eventually end with a Dwadasi. And, he says you do that Payo Vratakyam, and then you pray for a son who is strong enough to be able to go and get rid of the asuras. So Aditi then follows those instructions, and you can Google that Payo Vrata. It has all the ways of how to do it. So she goes and does that Payo Vrata for 12 days. So Putrarti Darshana Vashat Aditir. You can break at the Vashat Aditir Vishanna, Tam Kashyapam Nijapatim Sharanam Prapanna Tvat Pujanam Taduditam hi Payovratakyam, Sa Dwadashaham. So Dwadashaham, you can break it that ma. Dwadashaham Acharat Twayi Bhakti Purna. So full of devotion, she does this for 12 days. Putrati Darshana Vashadaditir Vishanna Tam Kashyapam Nijapatim Sharanam Prapanna Tvatpujanam Taduditam hi Payovratakyam Sadvadashahamacharat Twayi Bhakti Purna.
पुत्रार्तिदर्शनवशाददितिर्विषण्णा तं काश्यपं निजपतिं शरणं प्रपन्ना त्वत्पूजनं तदुदितं हि पयोवृताख्यं साध्वादशाहम् अचरत् त्वयि भक्तिपूर्णा. पुत्रार्तिदर्शनवशाददितिर्विषण्णा तं काश्यपं निजपतिं शरणं प्रपन्ना त्वत्पूजनं तदुदितं हि पयोवृताख्यं साध्वादशाहम् अचरत् त्वयि भक्तिपूर्णा.
And the third line, last word, Payovratakyam.
पयोव्रताख्यं.
पुत्रार्तिदर्शनवशात् अदितिर्विषण्णा तं काश्यपं निजपतिं शरणं प्रपन्ना त्वत्पूजनं तदुदितं हि पयोव्रताख्यं साध्वादशाहम् अचरत् त्वयि भक्तिपूर्णा. पुत्रार्तिदर्शनवशात् अदितिर्विषण्णा तं काश्यपं निजपतिं शरणं प्रपन्ना पूजनं तदुदितं हि भयोवृताख्यं साद्वादश शाकम् अचरत्वयि भक्तिपूर्णा.
We'll do two more stanzas and stop today. Tasya badhau tvayi nilina matera mushyaha श्यामश्चतुर्भुज वपुः birasihi namram chatamiha bhavattanayo bhaveyam gopyam madikshanamiti pralapannayasihi. So she does it for 12 days, getting her mind under control, her senses under control. For 12 days, Aditi does nothing but just pray. And then she just sustains on milk at the time. Then eventually at the end of 12 days, Bhagavan appears in front of her. Shyamas Chaturbhuja. So very beautiful and with the yellow garment, the usual Chaturbhujam. He appears in front of Aditi and says, okay, Aditi, I know what you have in your mind. That, Devas are being very weak, the Asuras are being strong. So he says, I will come and help out, right? And he says, I myself am going to be born to you. So this we'll cover it in 38. You remember this when Krishna Avataram happens. I'll tell you how this and Krishna Avataram are connected at that point. So, she said, I myself am going to be born to you and then help your sons out, which is help the Devas out. And she says that keep this, whatever I've told you should be Gopyam, Gupt. Gupt means secret, right? So keep this as a secret, right? That I am going to be born to you as a son who's going to then take care of this. Tasya vadhau tvayi nilina matera mushyaha, Shamash Chatur Bhuja Vapuhu Puta is Vapus Swayam Avirasihi Namramcha Tamiha Bhavat Tanayo Bhaveyam, Gopyam Madikshanamiti Pralapanna Tasya badhau tvayi nilina matera mushyaha Shyamaschatur Vapuswayama virasihi Namram chatamiha bhavattanayo bhaveyam Gopyam madikshanamiti pralapannayasihi.
Tasya vadau tvayi nilina matera mushyaha श्यामश्चतुर्भुज वपुस्वयमा विरासीः नम्रां च तामिह भवत्तनयो भवेयं गोप्यं मदीक्षणमिति प्रलपन्नयासीः तस्या वधौ त्वयि निलीनमतेरमुष्याः श्यामश्चतुर्भुज वपुस्वयमा विरासीः नम्रां च तामिह भवत्तनयो भवेयं गोप्यं मदीक्षणमिति प्रलपन्नयासीः
तस्यावतौ त्वयि नीलिनमतेरमुष्याः श्यामश्चतुर्भुज स्वयमाविरासीः नम्रां च तामिह भवत्तनयो भवेयं गोप्यम् अधीक्षणमिति प्रलपन्न यासीः
The fourth line, Gopyam Madikshanamiti.
गोप्यं मदीक्षणमिति प्रलपन्नयासी तस्यावदौ त्वयि नीलिनमतेरमुष्याः श्यामश्चतुर्भुज वपुस्वयम् आविरासीः नम्रां च धामिह भवत्तनयो भवेयं गोप्यं मदीक्षणमिति प्रलपन्नयासी आसीः.
Stanza 3, 4. Tvam kasyape tapasi sannidhadattadanim praptosi garbhamadite pranuto vidhatra prasuta cha prakata vaishnava divya roopam sadvadashi shravana punya dine bhavantam. So Kashyapa is always in the state of meditation. So for Kashyapa, even though he does not see it, he can see something entering into him. Right? He can see that suddenly he is getting energized, right? So he knows that something special is going to happen. And then to Kashyapa and to Aditi, then the Lord is then born. He's born on the confluence of Dwadashi and Shravana. On Dwadashi day, Shravana Nakshatram. On that day, a child is born. Now, this child, unlike a regular child, and we'll see the same thing happening again in 38th Dashakam, Krishna Avataram, the child is not born like a small baby. The child is born, it is born with Chaturbhujam. He is born with all of the necessary paraphernalia. It looks like Narayana as is, right? Just to show to Aditi and Kashyapa that I am not going to be an ordinary child. I'm not going to go through that, because all these avatarams are Leela avatarams, right? They are there for a specific purpose. They come in, they come, do the job, and go. Only Krishna Avataram, Rama Avataram, you have to go through the entire life cycle, right? Being small, playing, all of that stuff. None of these avatars, that's not going to happen. So right when he's born, he isn't born, and then he's born with Chaturbhujam, and he's actually, on the specific day, the Lord takes the avataram as Vamana. He's going to change the form later in the next stanza, but right now he's born with the Chaturbhujam. So, Tvam Kashyape Tapasi Sannidhadat Tadanim, Praptosi Garbam Aditehe, put a F, Adite, Pranuto Vidhatra, Prasuta Cha Prakata Vaishnava Divya Rupam. She is born with the original form, right, of the Narayana, of Vishnu. Sa Dwadashi Shravana Punyadine Bhavantam. Tvam Kashype Tapasi Sannidhadatadhanim Praptosi Garbhamadite Pranuto Vidhatra Prasuta Cha Prakata Vaishnava Divya Rupam Sadvadashi Shravana Punyadine Bhavantam.
त्वं काश्यपे तपसि सन्निधत्तदानीं प्राप्तोऽसि गर्भमदितेः प्रणुतो विधात्रा प्रासूत च प्रकटवैष्णवदिव्यरूपं साद्वादशी श्रवणपुण्यदिने भवन्तम् त्वं काश्यपे तपसि सन्निधत्तदानीं प्राप्तोऽसि गर्भमदितेः प्रणुतो विधात्रा प्रासूत च प्रकटवैष्णवदिव्यरूपं साद्वादशी श्रवणपुण्यदिने भवन्तम्
त्वं काश्यपे तपसि सन्निधत्तदानीं प्राप्तोऽसि गर्भमदिते प्रणुतो विधात्रा प्रासूत च प्रकटवैष्णवदिव्यरूपं साद्वादशी श्रवणपुण्यदिने भवन्तम् त्वं काश्यपे तपसि सन्निधत्तदानीं प्राप्तोऽसि गर्भमदिते प्रणुतो विधात्रा प्रासूत च प्रकटवैष्णवदिव्यरूपं साद्वादशी श्रवणपुण्यदिने भवन्तम्.
We'll stop here at this point. Sandhanandhavabhodhatmakamanupamitam kaladeshavadibhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nikamashatasahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam drishtamatre punarurupurushartatmakam brahmatattvam tattavadbhati sakshat gurupavanapure hanta bhagyam jananam kahena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrute swabhavat Karhomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanahi samarpayami. Thank you all. Next class, we'll finish 30 and 31, the remaining of 30, and then we'll have a review session from, I think we did up to 10 last time or something. We'll do a review of the rest of the chapters, okay?
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye.